Hey everyone, Ryan here at MandRproductions, and this is the 75028 Clone Turbo Tank Microfighter from the year 2014 in Series 1 of the Microfighters with 96 pieces. This set originally retailed for just $10. However, if you want a new and sealed box today, it'll cost you between 70 and 80 bucks perhaps. It's gotten rather expensive because it is one of very few sets to include the newer style Phase 2 Clone Trooper minifigure, and at that, a set released so long ago that now that so many people want to clone army build with them, it's rather difficult and expensive, which is a shame. They should have come in a battle pack, but they didn't. You can see that same figure shown on top there with the word new plastered on. And on the back, they have a rather odd picture of the Microfighter with the minifigure in the foreground, but the minifigure looks way smaller than it actually is compared to the Microfighter, so not really sure why they did that. They could have just made it bigger. And then they highlight the flick-fire missile function, as well as all 6 of the Series 1 Microfighters, and they really want you to download their Microfighter app, which I did download at the time. I don't really remember it all that well. I don't, not something to write home about, I guess, if I don't remember it, but I did download it, so maybe you should see if it's still there. Should we cut the glue holding the box together, or should we just use the thumb tab? Probably should just use the thumb tab. It's a little bit of an insane level of box collecting if I'm going to do that. It's always weird when some pieces don't come in bags. Like, clearly that could have fit in there. Anyway, instruction manual looks like probably nothing crazy. Just download our app, please. The minifigure for this Microfighter is the regular Phase 2 Clone Trooper in the mid-2010s armor style, something they've obviously changed going into 2020 and beyond, and it's different than the early days with the open visor at the front, but this, some would argue, is the peak of LEGO Clone Trooper design, certainly more accurate than what we have today, which is kind of a mix-match of Clone Wars animated and movie-style armor. This is a true-to-movie-style armor with no real deviation, I believe. Like, everything is pretty spot on. Definitely, I think, nowadays, the white hips do look better, so these black ones definitely age this minifigure a bit to me. And despite this having been in a $10 set, and it's certainly something I'd buy quite a few of nowadays, it is a shame this character in particular never made his way into a battle pack with this armor set, because it would have been amazing. After all these years, the Series 1 Clone Turbo Tank Microfighter is probably still my favorite build that they've ever done. It actually looks reasonably like the source material, and I understand that most Microfighters aren't going for that. They typically exaggerate proportions in certain areas on Microfighters, and that's perfectly fine. However, this one not doing that looks fantastic. You have all 10 wheels with the nice light gray on the outside, the dark gray on the inside. They all roll very nicely, as you can see here. They're a bit loud, but it still works very nicely. You do have the flick-fire missiles on the side, which you can push off. Works fine. Zooming out should give you a good view on this one. Hopefully I don't lose it. It's gone. Oh, it went right to the wall. So if you get a good flick on it, they work. Oh, got lucky today. It fell right here. Sometimes they go in the shelves or underneath, and it's all awful to find. I wouldn't display this thing without the flick-fire missiles in there. I think it looks really goofy. I suppose you could take the whole piece off and it might look a bit better, but I think just part of the charm with the Microfighters is to have these pieces put where they're supposed to. You got the rear section here with the cannon on top that can swivel up and down and actually can point forwards too, which is pretty cool. You have the small glass windows peering into the turbo tank. It's nicely sectioned up here. For as small as it is, they do a really good job. You've got the windscreen on the front with the cheese slopes again. Now, of course, one of my pet peeves with spots like this for minifigs is using 4 studs instead of the 2 and a tile strategy, because the legs can get stuck in there. I don't know if it's particularly a problem with this here, but on certain sets, on certain minifigs, for whatever reason, with the 4 studs, you can just have a tough time getting a minifig out of a spot. Doesn't seem to be a huge problem here, but it can be. You can pick a used one of these up online for just under $40, and at that price for the Clone Trooper alone, I think it's worth it, but the Turbo Tank being very good is a huge bonus here as far as Microfighters go. A lot of the time the build just ain't that good, but this one would go great on your desk or maybe in your dorm room if you're at college, or of course you can fit it into your normal LEGO collection as you please, but I think this is an awesome one, and one that I would recommend picking up on the used market or the secondary market brand new in box if you can afford the 20 extra bucks, I guess, and you want it to be all shiny new. I really wish they'd do more Clone Trooper Microfighters. I really feel like we missed an opportunity in 2014 here to build a nice army of Phase 2 Clone Troopers. I just didn't realize he'd never come in a battle pack. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, and you can check out more LEGO Star Wars reviews on the end screen now.